Is the 20th of February in 2019. After a very cool and chilly night below freezing out there, I hope it hasn't done any damage to the large number of grapefruit and lemons that are still out on the tree. Liz has been very concerned about her daylilies and some roses in pots, and so she's covered them all with sheets, and we hope that has taken care of them. I had been turning a fan, just a small one, on to the lemon trees over some of the recent cold times, and I forgot to do that this time, so I hope that they have survived and they'll still be good and edible. Well, it was a really interesting evening last night as we gathered with our Luther happy hour. Excuse me. One of our dear friends, Karen Hiskett, was in town. Karen lost her husband last fall, Walter, when he died after having come down with pancreatic cancer. She had returned to Nebraska in Kearney just before Thanksgiving, and while back there she suffered a stroke. She's recovered fairly well from the stroke, and she's now down here visiting for a couple of weeks. And so she attended the happy hour. She and Walt were always attendees almost every week to our happy hour events. So I think we had a turnout last night of some 17 people over at Stone and Barrel in the Cottonwood Country Club. And it was indeed quite a wonderful event as people welcomed Karen back. And there were some really good photos taken, I think, especially of the ladies, because to a large degree it was really their night. So the happy hour has been going on now. We were talking about that. And it's hard for us to understand when this idea of Luther and happy hour started. It goes back many years ago when there was a Bible study group up at Holy Trinity Lutheran Church at 9 o'clock in the morning. After the Bible study, some of the group would gather together down at Einstein Bagel. And oftentimes, once in a while, after that gathering, some of the people, particularly Gloria Egerton, perhaps Carol Knudsen, once in a while might say, hey, let's anybody want to get together for a drink tonight? And that was usually on a Wednesday, and we started doing that, not necessarily every week. Eventually, though, that did progress into a weekly event. And it got a little bit cumbersome because there were quite a number of people. And then the Bible study group sort of dismantled. Lee Rare, the pastor, retired up there at Holy Trinity. And so the Bible study group disbanded, and we were kind of losing that connection to the happy hour. Somewhere along the line, a few years ago, I thought, well, maybe we can do this a little bit more efficiently by using text. Now, some people would think, well, these people are all in their late 70s, up in their 80s, approaching 90 in some cases. Are they really going to take to the use of texting to keep them informed of an event? And it's really been very interesting because, yes, indeed, they have taken to texting. And it really has made the idea of a weekly event, which takes place in different venues from week to week, perhaps, but it has kept the idea going, and we have now been meeting continually for now several years, thinking back how long it might have been, probably 7, 8 years. I think for me, in terms of it beginning when I quit driving school bus, when I was, I think I just about when I turned 80 years old. So that would have been in, 6 years ago, almost 6 years ago. So it's been going at least that long, and I think some of it had taken place before I quit driving school bus. When I was driving school bus, I wasn't able to attend the Wednesday Bible study meetings. Anyhow, just a little bit of update on what's going on here on the 20th of February in 2019, and I think I've exceeded my limit of 5 minutes.